Hello and welcome back to the session on talent management, and I am Resham, faculty at Noida Institute of Engineering and Technology in the MBA department, and let us see today about a few things. So, today's session focuses on the reliability and validity of selection test, choosing a suitable type of interview, and focus on the formulation of recruitment strategies for senior level executives, and we will also discuss about the employee engagement programs and the ways of achieving the same. So, quickly let us see what is a selection test and why is it important. So, when we talk about the recruitment process, there are various levels for which we are conducting a selection process. So, we have to keep in mind certain important aspects related to the job when we are going to conduct a test for selection. The selection basically has to be decided on the basis of the number of applications we have received or the number of candidates who are going to appear for the selection process. Keeping into mind the requirements of the job, we will have to identify the right kind of test that will be required to identify the skill sets for the job, and based upon that we have to make a selection test. So, individuals basically differ in many aspects when compared to each other in terms of job related abilities and skills. So, when we talk about skills that are required for a particular position for which we are conducting the selection process, we need to identify whether the candidate who is applying has got those skill sets or not. So, in order to do that, we will have to identify one of the suitable methods through which the skills can be identified. So, in order to select the right person for the job, their abilities and skill set needs to be equally measured. Why? Because if we are not able to identify the competencies of the candidates, we may not be in a position to make the right selection. So, that is a very important criteria. Apart from that, the device that we have identified for the test should uncover the information about the candidate which are not known through the application or which are not known through his resume. So, it becomes equally important that we can identify those things from the about the candidate. We should also measure certain abilities and the aptitude that are prevalent in that candidate, because there are certain aptitudes that are required and also skills that are required to perform the particular job. So, let us quickly see what are the various selection tests that are available in order to do the selection process. So, first and foremost we will talk about the aptitude test. So, this test is mainly to verify the learning capacity of an individual. Now, the aptitude test basically consists of various types of questions in order to identify how far the person has been having the learning ability. Apart from that, we can also conduct an intelligence test to check whether there is a reasoning ability, verbal ability, numeric ability amongst the candidate, and also to test his memory we can ask a few questions. So, when we talk about these reasoning tests, we generally talk about the logical reasoning as well as the analytical reasoning that is there in an individual. Why do we have to test these reasoning skills? Now, the job will require certain kind of skills for an individual to perform the task in the day to day basis. So, unless and otherwise the reliable test is not conducted, we will not know whether the individual has the kind of logical reasoning that is required for the job or the analytical reasoning that is required for the job. So, it is very important and crucial to make a test, and also it is thereby required to understand what should be the level of difficulty that should be prevalent in the test. Now, if we talk about the level of difficulty, it will totally depend on what is the kind of job role the person is going to take up. If the job requires higher order skills and a higher order ability for analysis and logical reasoning, then the questions that are put forward also should be fulfilling those kind of requirement. So, the intelligence test is something which is very important, and if a job requires numeric calculations to be performed every day and to deal with numbers, then arithmetic skills of the individual needs to be tested. And say for example, if a job requires the knowledge of certain aspects which he has to derive from his memory, then the memory test is also important. So, all these things are imparted in the test, so that we can identify the skills of the individual. Apart from that, there can be also a practical knowledge or a theoretical knowledge based test in order to identify the achievements of an individual. So, if we are asking a passage question related to the achievements made by an individual in a particular period of time, we can also do that by means of taking an achievements test. Apart from that, there can be also situational test to look forward as to what is the aptitude of a person in a particular situation or in a given scenario. So, we can put a situation across to the individual, and we can ask questions related to how they will perform or what will they do in the given situation. So, the situational test is also a kind of test that is being taken, and we can identify the likes and dislikes about a candidate by taking an interest test. Now, these tests are required for a specific kind of job roles where you need to take these kind of tests. Apart from that, in order to know about some of the soft skills of an individual, like their interpersonal skills or their emotional performance in a given situation, then we can take personality test. So, this will help them to to identify the relationship, the reliability and the self confidence that is there in a particular individual. So, these personality test can be a structured test which is already available, and it is tried and tested, and this can be used during the selection process. Now, whenever we are taking job roles for the middle level management, we need to know about the person's personality before making a selection. So, in such kind of situation, personality test is highly helpful. Apart from that, there can be honesty test as well. Now, as we all know, polygraph is a method to detect a lie, and there is a mechanical device that is available to check the honesty of a candidate. So, in a given situation, whether the person is telling a true statement or whether he is lying about a given statement can be also tested with a polygraphy test. So, this reduces the loss of due to employee theft. Now, why is it important? There are certain job roles which require a high level of integrity in terms of handling the material or the objects or even funds in the organization. So, in such type of situation, it is very important to check upon the reliability of the individual or the kind of honesty that the individual is telling about. I mean, how far is the individual reliable, or whether he is trustworthy or not. So, in order to do these things, it is very important to conduct a honesty test. So, these are some of the tests that can be conducted in order to come into a situation where we can identify the right candidate. And let us quickly see why is reliability and validity in a selection test so important. Now, whenever we are going to identify a particular test which we want to use for doing the selection process, we need to see whether it is a reliable method and whether it is valid in any given situation. Why is it that organization should think about these aspects? Now, the most important thing is the selection will give us help us to land into a situation where we have the right candidate for the organization. So, if the candidate so selected through the process is not the right candidate, we will end up into two situations. Either we will not be in a position to continue with the employee, or the employee may leave the organization soon. So, the entire process has to be redone. So, in order to not come into such a situation, it is important that we should do a reliability and validity test before selecting the selection test. And apart from that, the performance of the employee is totally dependent on the skills and the attributes that is there in the individual. So, if we are not able to identify the skills, then it may be that we end up into a situation where we have the wrong candidate. So, there can be two outcomes that may be possibly happening. Either we take an employee who is not performing, or we are not able to select an employee who is the right employee. So, when a test is not right, we may end up into a situation where we have hired a employee who is not suitable for the organization, or we have missed out on an employee who could have been a better performer, and we will have an opportunity cost there of losing out on a potential employee. So, that is one of the important factor. Apart from that, the entire recruitment and selection process is a costly affair. It is a process that requires time and money both. So, in order to safeguard the cost that is involved, it is important that we do it right on the first time itself. So, we should be keeping an eye on the validity and reliability. And apart from that, there could be a legal implication also if we are not doing the right process, because in case if going forward an employee say maybe a person who has not got selected, he claims that the test which was the method that was used was not the right method to identify the potential of his caliber, then in that case it will become a legal implication also. So, that is also an important factor. Apart from that, the concept of reliability and validity is very crucial in terms of HR selection and recruitment. So, let us see what do we mean by reliability. Reliability refers to how dependably or consistently a test measures a characteristic. That is, if a person takes the test again and again, will he or she get the similar score every time they take the test, or where they get a different score. A test that yields the similar score for a person even after repeated for several times, then it is a reliable test. There can be a thin margin of difference based upon certain factors that we will see in the next slide. And when we talk about validity, validity refers to whether or not the test measures what it intends to measure, and whether there is a high validity of the item which will be closely linked to the test that intends the focus. So, if for example, if you are going to take a numeric test, whether there is a validity, whether it focuses on identifying the right kind of numerical skills of the individual. And also for many certification and license purpose, whenever a test is conducted, then it is for a specific job or an occupation. Say for example, the most commonly known test, if we take it, is a driving test. So, when we have to issue a license, a driving license, then the validity of the test is done only when the individual performs a certain things during the test drive. So, those factors need to be evaluated, and we should see how far the person, the individual performs the test and whether it is suitable enough for us to issue the license. And when we talk about test not be validated in a correct manner, or if it is a poorly validated test, then we will end up taking a wrong person or issuing a license to a wrong person. So, that will have its own implication in the long run. So, keeping all these factors into consideration, the reliability and the validity of a test is very, very crucial in terms of the selection process. Now, when we talk about the reliability of the test, the things that may occur is that there can be changes in the response on certain occasions. Say for example, test taken during a particular physical state, the individuals answering to that particular test may differ in terms of the physical state or the temporary psychology of the person. Say for example, if a person is under stress and the kind of response he gives for a particular question asked may be different in terms of the same person in a relaxed mode. So, there will be a physical state difference also that may affect the reliability of the test or the values that comes from the test. And there can be certain environmental factors also that can affect a particular test, like the level of noise or sound in a given room or the humidity level. So, how comfortable or discomfortable the person who is taking the test is also determines the performance of the individual in a given test. So, apart from that, the test forms can also be varied. So, there can be parallel forms or there can be alternate forms available for a same test. So, when we talk about parallel forms, if say for example, we do not want all the candidates to take a similar test or the same question or the same test, then we may have parallel forms. This generally happens when a very large crowd of individuals are there and we have to administer a particular test. Then we may be also forming similar type of questions, but different questions, and that can become a parallel form. And an alternate form comes in when you will be asking the same question in a alternate method, or you put forward the same question in a different method in front of a person. So, when we talk about these things, the level of the answer which we get from the individuals in these questions may vary time and again. And there can be also possibility that multiple raters may give different point values to a particular test. So, that again is also a important reliability. So, if we have a particular kind of a rubrics formulated for a test, then every individual, whoever may be the rater for it, he or she should be giving a similar kind of rating for the test that is in hand. So, this also talks about the reliability. So, whether the individual is tested by a rater examiner 1, 2 or 3, in all the given situation, the outcome should be more or less close to each other. If that is the case, then we can say that the test is a reliable one. So, these are some of the factors that we have to consider when we talk about the reliability of the test. Now, let us see how are interviews important and why should we consider interview for a selection process. What is an interview? Now, we all know that interview is a personal conversation between the interviewer and an interviewee, wherein questions are asked by the interviewer and the response comes from the interviewee. So, there can be various ways in which interview can take place. It can be a personal one-on-one, or it can be a group interview, or it can be telephonic interview. So, an interview can take place in various methods. The most commonly known types of interviews are unstructured interview. Now, unstructured interview, when we talk about, we generally mean that the questions are formulated based upon the need and requirement of the selection process. So, this unstructured interview we can generally see in terms of middle level management post or a higher designation, where the questions are put forward based upon the answer that we have received from the interviewee. So, that is an unstructured interview. And when we talk about structured interview, it is basically taken for entry level jobs, wherein we ask the same kind of questions to almost all the candidates who are appearing for that test. So, that is a structured interview. When we talk about stress interview, certain jobs are having a certain kind of requirement, wherein the employee has to be under stress or have to encounter situations wherein he may be under stress. So, what kind of a response he gives in such a situation is what we need to test during the interview. So, in such situation, a stressful environment is created by the interviewer and see the effect or how the employee or the interviewee responds to that stressful situation. So, that is stress interview. When we talk about depth interview, we come across situations where we require an employee to have an in-depth knowledge about the task in hand. So, say for example, an engineer working in a factory where he has to handle a particular kind of a machinery. So, he should have a depth knowledge about the entire task or how the machine works. So, he in order to check how far he has the knowledge about it, the depth interview is taken, or it can be also possible in terms of a particular knowledge based industry, where the depth knowledge in the particular area is required to undertake the task and to do it in a successful manner. So, that is with depth interview. When we talk about panel interview, it is again number of interviewers are there asking question to a particular interviewee. So, there will be one interviewee and numerous or a panel of interviewers. So, different interviewers will ask different question to the same candidate, and he or she will be answering to the different panel members. So, that is a panel interview. And when we talk about group interview, when we see that there are lots of people to be interviewed and we have very few openings, that is when we conduct a group interview. So, it generally becomes like a group discussion where a particular question is asked and all the candidates who are present there will be answering or giving their opinion for that particular question. So, this is how elimination takes place and group interview is conducted. So, choosing the suitable type of interview depends upon what is the requirement and what kind of candidate are we looking for. So, that decides on which type of interview should be considered. Now, quickly seeing how should we formulate a recruitment strategy for a senior level executive. So, the selection process for a senior management position is very critical to business. Now, why is it important? Because they are going to not only take up their own task or answerable for their task, but they also have a team to look after, or they have to play a critical part in the organization. So, it is very crucial to select the right candidate, because that will have a long term impact on the growth and development of the business. So, it is very important that we have a clear cut strategy, and we should plan well in advance as to how are we going to do the selection of a senior level management candidate. So, that is when we have to take certain crucial decisions. Now, how should we design or how should we decide upon what should be the strategy for a senior recruit. So, first and foremost thing is we should know about our competition. We should know what is the current business scenario, who are our competitors, and what is the market looking like. Unless we are not clear about that, we will not know as to what kind of qualities we are looking for in a senior management person, because he should be in a position to handle the competition as well. And we should be also be very proactive when we come to doing a talent pipeline, and we should have a clear strategy for that. We should look forward to a senior executive basically from within, because one, the person will have a clear organization idea, as in how the company functions or what kind of products we deal into, who are our customers, and what is the growth we are looking for. So, it is always good enough to have a senior executive from within. If there are situations we do not have one in the pipeline, that is when we look forward from a person from outside. And we should have a two-way street wherein we can nurture the person in the organization, or we can bring a person from the job market, or we can hire a person from outside, and then we should nurture them inside the organization. So, apart from that, we should be very patient when we are going to make a selection, and we should be also persistent in making the selection. Why is it important? Because if we are in a hurry, or as I told earlier in my earlier presentation, hassle free decision is what is required for any senior management position. Because if we are hasty about the decision, then we may end up choosing the wrong candidate. So, it is very important that we should be very much patient and persistent when we are taking a senior level executive. So, quickly we can see about employee engagement. So, employee engagement, when we talk about, is how we engage the employees in our organization. And when we are talking about talent management, the key is to engage the employees rather than giving them out to our competitors. So, if an employee is not feeling engaged, then he will start looking into other avenues. So, it is very important that in order to keep their commitment towards their organization, we should have a clear cut engagement program. So, let us quickly wrap up on what are the points that we have seen today. So, we have seen about the selection tools and the methods, and we have also looked upon how we are going to formulate a strategy for selecting the senior level employees. So, I hope it was a good learning for you. So, let us talk about the remaining topics in our next presentation. Thank you.